I'm learning how to watch surfing competitions. Can you give us some background? What are we looking at? What's going on?
So you're looking at arguably one of the best surf spots in the entire world. Incredible surfing.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Oh, shit.
Dude, what are you doing? Look at that. I mean, you know. And by the way, this is a world-class wave.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like, oh, I'd pay $100. Like, some people are like, yeah, I'd pay $5K.
All right.
America. So we got two former world champions, one who is very, very experienced, and he's about to take his first wave, and he gets a little hung. He does like a mini stall with his backhand,
And he's gone.
he almost makes it through. So he like gets a little bit flustered. He does that backhand stall, and had he just gotten a little bit forward, right? Because he does a little backhand stall again, he would have made it. And they're kind of thinking that he would have got a 10, and this is the wave after. And then at this point right here, like, the heat was won.
Already.
Well, in a way, right? Like, he had a pretty solid chance, John later on. He did come back, but that's a large part of it, right? But there's so many different things going on right here. There's just, so much going on.
Well, Bill, so, all right, I'm learning how to watch surfing competitions. Can you give us some background? What are we looking at? What's going on?
Okay, so you're looking at arguably one of the best surf spots in the entire world. It's spelled Tiahuapoa, but it's pronounced Chopu.
Chopu.
It means end of the road. And so what you have here is you have incredibly deep water in the middle of the ocean, all of a sudden hitting this like reef shelf. Mm-hmm. And it forces all of this power to just kind of explode at once, right? Expel all of its energy at once. And so what's happening then is that it's so powerful that the wave breaks, it shoots out like that, so you're able to ride inside, right? And that's just, it's a great feeling. It's pretty incredible. But these guys are scored on riding the barrel. So, well, how do you score riding the barrel? You're just riding inside. Well, how deep you can get, how long you're in the barrel, how difficult was the takeoff, right? So you took off really late, because the later you take off and the harder you stall on takeoff, which increases the difficulty, right? And the technicality of what you're doing, but it gets you deeper into the barrel, right?
Okay.
All right. And then, so what that guy's doing there?
So we got, so how's
See
it?
how he slows down?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. Uh-huh.
You like that one?
Yeah, definitely. But it wasn't one of the bigger waves. So I don't know how much he got scored on this. Incredible surfing.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Him surfing at your local spot, like he's going to be the best surfer out there. Everyone's going to be turning around and watching him when he's out. Now, I'm sure, if we can magically put him here, he would admit the same. Like, hey, he probably wishes that wave was a little bit bigger, a little bit hollower.
Oh, he came back.
And that's kind of one of the things on surfing, right? It's not like basketball where it's like, hey, you got your 5 guys, and I've got my 5 guys, and we've got the same court. What are we doing? The court changes, right? Each wave is different. So, there's somewhat of a luck factor in there. And luck, and also, like, there's a priority factor, right? One guy catches a wave, that means the other guy's got priority, so he's now half first pick. So it's important on when you decide to go, because when you decide to go, you're kind of handing the other guy first pick of what's going to happen next.
Oh, it goes back and forth.
So it goes back and forth, right? So you kind of got to make like a tactical decision somewhat, right?
How long is the heat? Like 30 minutes?
It all depends, but on average, they're 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Sometimes if the heats are slow, sometimes they'll do heats on top of each other and they'll make it 40 minutes. They'll run concurrently, so they give guys more time. This was a final, and the swell was slow. There was these really long gaps between the sets, so I think they gave him 40 minutes for the final.
Gotcha.
Right. So, it's a little bit condition dependent.
So, and it's...
Yeah, I mean, just look at that. I mean, and by the way, this is a world-class wave. If you asked your average person, like, hey, what would you pay to ride one of those waves with no crowd out?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, like, the price goes up. It's like, oh, I'd pay $100. Like, some people are like, yeah, I'd pay $5K.
Yeah.
If you go out there during a full swell, and you pay your own money to go to Tahiti and you're on that lineup, you're not alone. There's not 2 people out there. There's 50 people out there.
Yeah.
And by the way, those 50 people, like, they're not, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They absolutely know what they're doing. And so, it's going to be hard for you to wrestle a wave out of them if it's, kind of your first time, you don't know what's going on.
All right, so we got a minute left. Best two scores means top two waves count.
Yeah, so top two waves, right? So what happened at that point is that, top two waves count, is that Italo blocks him, right? So it's like, hey, like, I have priority. He won. He knows he won, right? But it was close. Look at that. Less than 1 point. Yeah. So John, he rode those waves out absolute best he could.
And he had the best wave, 9.33.
That first one. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. So like, let's say they have the same exact score. Let's say one guy got a 9.5 and the other guy got an 8.5 for whatever that'd be, and the other guy got 2 9s. The guy with the 9.5 wins.
Yeah.
Right,
Gotcha.
because like even though they have the same exact score, one guy had a higher scoring wave, and so they give the nod to him. That's how ties happen. Yeah, and that's Strider. He's the announcer.
He's out there the whole time. Is he on the board?
He's a good surfer in his own right too. Italo's a good surfer, former world champion. He was the last one to win a champion before they went to the new format where they do like a 5-person runoff at Trussell's, which is a conversation in its own right.
So this is where the Olympics are going to be.
This is where the Olympics are going to be. I looked at the men's side of the draw, and there's, everyone's pretty well versed. And the women in this contest, I feel the bar for women's surfing was raised dramatically. It was pretty incredible. I am worried about some of the contestants on both sides, both male and female. There's some people from different countries that might not be fully well versed in surfing Tahitian power waves. I think that's the president of Tahiti or the prime minister.
I wonder how much he gets. Is it mainly sponsorships? Is there a nice prize there?
It all changes. Surfing's obviously, it's not fully accepted by the entire, how do I say it?
It's not mainstream.
It's not mainstream. It's not like basketball, right? Where you're just going to make a ton. And so instead of getting paid by hey, Peyton Manning used to get paid a lot of money by the Colts, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, boom. There's no team like that pays you. So it's sponsorship and prize winnings. That's what's going to get you the most money. Italo's main sponsor right now, I believe, is Red Bull. And he used to be sponsored by Billabong. And then John has his own company, Florence Marine. And then similar to what Kelly Slater does. Kelly Slater has his own company, Outerknown.
Gotcha.
Right? And so, yeah. Me, I'm lazy and old. I buy my surf trunks from Costco.
You're sponsored by Kirkland.
Yeah, sponsored by Kirkland. Yeah, not afraid.
And Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. Kirkland, Dunkin' Donuts. And that's Joe Turpel. He's got a great voice if you like annoying people.
You ever see some of these guys?
Yeah. I haven't surfed with John or Italo, but when I lived on the North Shore, we saw all these guys. I've been in the water when Kelly Slater's been out there, and been in the water when the Irons brothers were out there. Pretty incredible surfers. I was surfing in the water when they were surfing in the water. I wasn't surfing with them, like calling them up and, hey buddy, let's go.
But you knew they were there.
Yeah, and it's different watching them in free surfs. They surf differently.
Oh, really?
The constraints are off. It's not as regimented,
They can experiment or try new things.
Or just, it's sometimes it's way more radical too.
Uh-oh.
What's he going to do? All right.
Backflip?
He's going to backflip, possibly break his ankle.
Oh, Jesus.
With the Olympics coming up too, you're just like, dude, what are you doing? So he won gold. I don't think he's in the Olympics, but he won gold.
Follow us. More interesting things to come.